William had never imagined that a routine supply run to the outer colonies would change his life forever. As a low-ranking technician aboard the merchant vessel Wandering Star, his days were filled with monotonous inventory checks and system diagnostics. That was until they landed on Zelithar Prime, a planet on the fringes of known space where humanity had only recently established diplomatic relations. The marketplace buzzed with activity merchants from a dozen different species haggling over exotic goods, their voices creating a symphony of alien languages. William was inspecting a shipment of cooling units when he first noticed her. A girl, perhaps in her late teens by human standards, stood motionless in the crowd. Her skin shimmered with an iridescent quality that shifted between silver and pale blue, and her eyes, large, luminous orbs without visible pupils, were fixed directly on him. She was Kylie, though William wouldn't learn her name until much later. She belonged to the Solari, a mysterious species known for their telepathic abilities and their rigid social hierarchy. The Solari rarely interacted with other races, preferring the isolation of their crystal cities. William felt a chill run down his spine as those otherworldly eyes bored into him. He turned away, trying to focus on his work, but when he glanced back, she had moved closer, still silent, still staring. Her presence was unnerving, not because she seemed threatening, but because of the absolute stillness she maintained, like a statue come to life. For the next 3 days, Kylie followed him. Everywhere William went, she was there, maintaining a distance of exactly 20 paces. She never spoke, never approached closer, never explained her purpose. The other crew members noticed and made jokes at first, but their laughter died when they saw the intensity of her gaze. "Maybe she's just curious about humans," suggested Marcus, the ship's navigator. Though his voice lacked conviction, William tried everything to lose her. He ducked into crowded markets, took circuitous routes back to the ship, even confronted her directly. But Kylie simply stood there, her expression unreadable, and resumed following when he moved on. The silence was maddening. On the 4th day, the Wandering Star received clearance to depart. William breathed a sigh of relief as he boarded the ship, certain he'd seen the last of the strange alien girl. But as the cargo bay doors began to close, a flash of iridescent skin caught his eye. Kylie had somehow slipped aboard. "Security!" William shouted, but before the guards could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. An emergency transmission from Zelithar Prime overrode all communications. "This is the Royal Guard of Solaria," a stern voice announced. "You have aboard your vessel a member of the royal bloodline. Return her immediately, or face severe consequences." The captain's face went pale. The Solari Royal Guard were legendary, an elite force with technology far beyond human capability. Their warships could disable an entire fleet without firing a shot. Kylie stood in the cargo bay, still silent, as armed guards surrounded her. William pushed through the crowd, his heart pounding. "Wait, before you hand her over, shouldn't we ask why she's here?" The captain glared at him. "We're not starting an intergalactic incident over." A psychic wave rippled through the bay, and suddenly everyone heard a voice in their minds. It was Kylie. "I cannot speak," her thoughts echoed. "The royal curse has stolen my voice for defying the council. They wish to marry me to Lord Vexither, a tyrant who has murdered his way to power. I ran. I chose this human because his mind is different, kind. I saw memories of him helping others, defending the weak. I hoped he would understand." William's mind reeled. The fragmented images she projected showed elaborate ceremonies, cruel faces, and a gilded cage that awaited her return. "Why didn't you just tell me?" William thought back, not knowing if she could hear him. "Because the Royal Guard can trace telepathic communication across light years. Silence was my only protection. But now they have found me anyway." The ship shuddered as Solari vessels surrounded them, their weapons charging. The captain made his decision. "Prepare to transfer the girl." "No." William stepped between Kylie and the guards. "She's asking for asylum. We can't just hand her over to." "We have no choice, technician." "Stand down." Kylie's hand touched William's shoulder, and another wave of images flooded his consciousness. He saw what would happen if she returned a forced wedding, a lifetime of servitude. Her telepathic abilities weaponized for Vexither-esque conquests. William made a split-second decision. He activated the emergency protocol, sealing the cargo bay and routing power to the short-range communications ray. Within seconds, he had broadcast Kylie's story images and all across every frequency, reaching human colonies, allied species, and news networks throughout the sector. The silence that followed was deafening. Then responses began flooding in. Human rights organizations, alien advocacy groups, even representatives from the Galactic Council. The forced marriage of a royal heir had been kept secret, but now it was headline news across a dozen star systems. The captain stared at William in horror. "Do you realize what you've done?" William met his gaze steadily. "I gave her a voice." The Solari Royal Guard commander's image appeared on the view screen. His crystalline features twisted in rage. But behind him, other Solari nobles were arguing, their political calculations suddenly complicated by galactic scrutiny. "You have interfered in matters beyond your understanding." "Human," the commander snarled. "Then help me understand," William replied. "Explain to the entire galaxy why a girl would rather flee in silence than accept her fate." The standoff lasted hours, but public pressure mounted, and even among the Solari, dissent grew. By dawn, the Galactic Council had issued a protection order, and Kylie was granted provisional asylum aboard the Wandering Star. As the Solari fleet withdrew, Kylie finally smiled, a small, grateful gesture that needed no words. She had followed William in silence because she had recognized something rare, genuine compassion in a universe often lacking it. And William, the low-ranking technician who had simply wanted to do the right thing, realized he had become part of something far greater than he'd ever imagined. The alien girl who followed in silence had found her voice, and in doing so, had terrified those who preferred to rule in darkness.